Hey everybody, welcome to the Leader Lab. This is Leadership Shorts, quick thoughts to help you level up your leadership. My name is Chad Wright. I'm the founder of Forward Partners. I'm joined by my partner in podcasting, Emily Graysteel. Emily, what are we talking about today?
So I want to talk about a concept this is related to the last episode.
Okay.
Which was what are we doing versus where are we going?
Yes, what are we doing versus where are we going? Absolutely.
So many leaders we work with are exhausted from constantly running around putting fires out all day.
Yes.
So problem solving is an important role of leaders, but can also consume all of the cloud time that we've talked about before.
Yes.
So
absolutely.
What's a solution or what's a way to kind of combat that?
So last time we talked about this idea that if answering where are we going really is the important work of leadership, we have to block out time for it, right? But often that seems impossible. And it's because we are literally running around all day putting out fires. We are constantly running around answering questions and dealing with problems. And we've had several episodes where we've kind of touched on this a little bit. I want to kind of get to the core of why this is, because I'm very guilty of having done this in the past. It turns out, like being a firefighter. I again, Enneagram. Being an Enneagram 5, I have a core fear of being inadequate. And so when I can show up to a situation, bring wisdom, bring knowledge, whatever it is, and answer a question and fix something, that fixing it goes, oh, see, you're capable.
You can show up and have a solution, right? And you show up and you're like, okay, I know what to do because I have something to do.
Yeah, and so it feels really good. We like being the hero.
Needed.
We all want to feel needed. We want to be the hero. We want to be the one that fights the fires. And so the problem is psychologically that traps us into, and I didn't understand this till I got to the top levels of leadership, but creating systems that require us to fight fires. Yeah. When I'm dealing with leaders that are saying, man, I have no time to actually get up in the clouds. I have no time for the important work because I'm so busy doing this. We really start to analyze the things that they say yes to. But what we find more often than not is they are not good at determining should they even put this fire out?
Yeah.
Like, let it burn sometimes. These are not all life-ending, we got to make a choice right now, but they think they are because they don't want to really dive into, well, I'm afraid that I won't have any value. And so we end up creating systems that require us to show up and put out fires all day.
Yeah.
And I noticed this most a few years back before the business I had before this one. I was the center of everything. I was the hero. And so I spent all day running around, putting out fires, being at the center of things, dealing with it, finish the day.
You feel that, you feel the weight of oh, it's my job. That's for me to do.
That's
it's
my
my
role.
job.
That's what I do.
I've set this
100%.
up. I've built this role for myself.
Yes.
This is where I'm at. And then people who are around you have those expectations too, right?
Yes.
Oh, call Chad. Chad's the guy. He'll fix it.
100%. And what's funny though is eventually you hit a wall because we find out a truth. Us as the top level leaders being firefighters is not scalable. And it's not sustainable because it builds up so much exhaustion and frustration. And honestly, it started to wear on my team because they're going, why is everything always on fire all the time? Like they're looking at me going, this is crazy.
Or just setting sparks?
Yeah. And so as a leader, I should have been building a system that was fireproof where there weren't fires all the time. Yeah. But because I love being the firefighter, I built a system where there were fires all the time.
Yeah.
And once we started to make that shift to say, no, we want a system that doesn't require me, things started to get better. And so helping leaders think through this is often helpful for them to be able to examine honestly their own leadership and say, okay, am I trying to be the hero? Am I trying to be the center of the story? And if we are, it's not scalable. And so really we kind of have a couple questions or things for people to think through. And the first one really is ensuring that people are properly empowered to make decisions. The reality is if we hold all decisions with a closed hand, that we have to be the one to make it. That is a system that is not scalable. That is a system built for us to be the hero.
Right. Well, and if I'm constantly coming to you with, oh, can you sign off on this? Can you make this final decision?
Yeah.
Then I also don't have the confidence to do that because I'm like, oh, no, he needs to look at this before I send it for sure. Because if I send it, it's just going to be terrible. There's no way. Yeah. And that's not the confidence
and that means
builds sustainably.
In that case, I wouldn't have empowered you to do that. Like
right.
If you're making decisions all day and you are the center of it, make sure you've actually empowered your people because you probably haven't. The next piece is looking at all your systems, all your processes. How many are you at the center of? What you're probably going to find is you're at the center of most of them. And so unwinding that and finding ways to build new processes that put somebody else in that position or just getting you out of it. It's hard to do. It's very, very painful sometimes.
Right. Well, and I think just personally, I find that if there's a project I'm working on and I'm like, oh, it's just easier if I do it myself. It will just be quicker.
Yes, absolutely.
Well, not in the long. That's not a sustainable way to do that, because sometimes sitting and training someone and showing somebody else how to do it, or giving them the confidence to make the decision instead of you, it's actually going to save you a lot more in the long run. You're going to have a more sustainable situation, a more sustainable process.
And that's ultimately what we're after here, is sustainability, is scalability. And so I think if you are that leader that is going, hey, I know I need to be in the clouds, I know I need to be answering the question, where are we going, but I can't because I'm putting out fires all day, realize it's probably your fault. It is probably a system you have built, probably based on a little ego, probably based on a little fear. And so knowing that, stop and go, have I really empowered my people? And you can examine all the systems, all the processes, where are you stuck at the center? And once you start to see those, now we can start to intentionally change those, because next episode, we're going to talk about kind of what true leadership really looks like. So if we are going up into the clouds, what do we do with that? And what does that mean? And if we can get to the point where putting out fires all day is not our job, what is our job?
Yeah.
I think that's going to be an exciting episode. But if
now I have all this time.
Yeah, now I have all this time. What do I do with it? If you are that leader who is just busy fighting fires all day, stop and really just think through those steps. And you're probably going to identify some places that you need to make some intentional changes. Yeah. All right. I'm excited about that conversation. Can't wait for the next episode. If people want to send us their own questions, their own leadership challenges, where do they send those?
lab@forwardpartners.net.
lab@forwardpartners.net. If they want to engage with all the content we're putting out about leadership, where do they do that?
@forwardpartner.
@forwardpartner. All the major socials. You'll find us on there. Thank you for doing this, Emily.
Thank you.
Thank you, Danny, for producing podcast. Again, spoiler alert, this is our first post-lunch episode, so we're guaranteed to crash the plane, just like we did last episode. Thank you. Okay. Thank you, Danny, for podcasting, for producing. Thank you, Wilco Workspaces, for partnering with us. We will see you in the smoldering wreckage of the Leader Lab next time.
Fighting fires.
For Leadership Shorts. We're out. We're done.